All right, so I've had a few of you guys ask me how to make this kiln and how it works. It's fairly simple.
Yeah, I ain't getting that.
If you do not have the land for this or the room for this, then this probably is not the kiln for you. But essentially all I did was make a grate. So that's probably the first thing to do, is to make the grate, because that's going to determine about how wide you're going to make this outside structure here, and how deep and how big your firebox is going to have to be. So you can see my dogs are digging in the back there, and they like getting in here and digging in it. But essentially this is the firebox, which is going to hold majority of your, well, it's going to hold all your fuel. I mean, you can still get it tapered out through here, but majority of my fuel goes in here, and it takes a while for it to build up, and it really only functions well when I have a lot of fuel in there. And I mean it, which is good because it really allows me to build up the temperature so that all of my pieces in this top here don't get really hot really quick. They do get up to temp. So it does work out, but I really have to have a lot of fuel on hand, and I also need to stack and make a lot of pottery pieces. This is about 2 feet high and about 1.5 feet wide. So you really want to make sure that with a kiln this size, that you're making it worth your while, because it will be an all-day thing. But essentially all you're doing is you're making your grate, which this is a mixture of perlite and wild clay that I found, and it's about 8 inches thick, which you can see it popping out of the bottom here. It's about 8 inches thick, but it has not cracked, and I mean it gets roaring hot in here, and this guy doesn't crack. So it's good. This on the inside is fire brick that one of my buddies left me. I don't know exactly what it is, like brand, or if that is even a thing, but he used to do hardscaping, so he just had these and gave them to me. He knew I did stuff with pottery. But you could just make cob, which I have a video of that on my channel, where you could just make cob and pretty much make an outline of your chimney for your kiln. This right here is all just sand that I dug up from here. So really this is acting like almost like a draft. It's kind of letting that cold air settle down, and as it settles down, it's going to pull into this firebox, and it's going to shoot up top as it heats up. So that's kind of the natural draft there, and you don't want to muffle that, because it will stifle how much heat it can produce. So you want to have that open. I made this sand. I mean, this is all just sand. I didn't pack it or anything. All I did was just dig it up here. I put it on these two sides over here, and then from there I kind of just started tossing it onto the side of these. I did put a clay sand mixture for a fire resistant mortar. It was about 1-in-1, so 1 part clay, 1 part sand, and I just laid it down onto the bottom of these. And what else we got here? I think that's really about it. Really, you want, if you're really going to go for like an ash glaze or something like that, you're going to want really thick insulation. This is only maybe 6 inches, and it gets really hot. I mean, it gets really, really hot. I think the only thing that's keeping me from getting to a ash glaze is the grate. The grate is, I mean, it's thick, and it takes away pretty much all of the heat underneath it, except for what's coming out of these holes. So I kind of want to cut this grate maybe in half, and I'm going to make another video where I go into detail about making this grate. And I will also be making a smaller kiln beside this one, because I need to be able to fire smaller pieces. To make enough pieces to fill that up would probably take a month. And sometimes I just want to be able to make a piece and then fire it the next day, which I'm gonna have to make another kiln for that, a smaller kiln, one that I won't need as much fuel. But this is essentially what the kiln is. It's just digging a hole in the ground. You're gonna set your grate on top of the ground right here, dig in a little bit, you know, make a, my grate is a circle, which you can't really see it now because it's covered in ash, but this was a circle. I set the grate down, and then I just made an outline of it, and then I take that grate back off, and I dug down, and then I dug through the side and made sure they connected, and then I just dug out everything inside of there and took it out. I made sure not to open up my firebox too wide. If you open it up too wide, it's not going to fire as well. And I did eventually dig all the way through the top here, and this is where I have a paver, which also came from my buddy because he does hardscaping and stuff like that, and he just gets them. But you could use probably a refractory, probably have to make some sort of refractory brick to just lay over the top so you can get this last little bit enclosed right here. Hope that made sense. I wish I would have recorded this, but I didn't have any of my recording stuff at the time. I had a phone, but I didn't really think it'd be worth it. But now I can't find anything, and I'm doing everything on my phone now. So yeah, that's how it works. And I will be making another video, pretty much just a smaller set right beside it, and we'll do a test run with that too. Till then, I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you got some clarity on how this works, and maybe you got some ideas on how to make your own. And if you got any value out of this, please like, share, subscribe. Really helps me out. I'm getting close to monetizing. I would love to do this full time. So if you could help me out with that, it only takes a few minutes, a few seconds really, to do all that stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it. Till next time, guys.